Hey, welcome back to the Wayward Gourmands. This is Keith, and this is my assistant.
Keith.
Today, we're making Arancini, rice balls.
Arancini.
Right. Depending on what pizzeria you go to, if it's a bring your own, then it's rice balls. If it's a fancy Italian restaurant, arancini. That's right. So, I have some leftover risotto here, some cubed up mozzarella. I'm going to get my gloves on. We'll be back in a minute, and we're going to start forming these balls, and we'll show you how easy it is. Be back in a few. All right. So I have, like I said, some leftover risotto. Now, if you don't have leftover risotto, actually, hold on a second. Let's take a look at how it's made. All right, we have our pot of stock at a simmer, and we're going to put about 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to put about 1 tablespoon of butter. The mixture of the two, one for flavor, one for the higher heat. We're going to get that around, and then we're going to put our onions in the pan. Now, I grated mine because I like the smaller texture with the rice, but you can just finely dice them or chunky dice them if you want. Now, if you dice them, you're going to have to cook them a little longer, but being I had grated mine, I only have to cook them for a minute or two to soften them up. All right, so after the onions saute for a bit, we're going to get our rice in there, and then we're going to whisk it around really quick because we want to make sure that all the rice gets coated with the butter and oil mixture. After that, we're going to keep it moving because you don't want to scorch it, because the scorched rice gives a bitter taste and it's going to be a foul risotto, and you want a good quality risotto to go into the arancini. Or if you're just eating a risotto, you want a good quality risotto. But we're going to keep that moving, prevent the scorching, and we're going to go for about 3-4 minutes. You're going to know it's done where it's going to be slightly translucent on the outside and it's going to have a nutty aroma. All right, so at this point, we got that nutty aroma. We're ready for the wine. We're going to be adding some white wine to this, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure everything gets nice and saturated. We're going to keep stirring it. There's a lot of stirring in this dish, and you're going to keep that moving, and it's going to start to absorb. When the rice is almost dry, that's when we're going to start ladling in the stock, but not before then. See, now it's nice and dry. And we're going to start ladling in the stock. Now I have a small ladle because it's a small pot, but you want to put about 3/4 cup in, maybe a cup. There we go. And we'll stir that around, keep it moving. Again, don't want to scorch it. Now, you're going to go through this process probably 2 or 3 times. So I'm going to go through high speed because I'm not making an ASMR video on risotto. So I'm going to speed this up so you don't get bored. Once all the stock is gone, if you find the rice is still a little bit too firm, you can add the rest with water. I think I had to add about 1/2 cup of water at the end of this. Once you're ready, now it's time to add some butter, some Parmesan cheese, and some parsley. Whip that in really good. Keep mixing it. You can actually turn the heat off at this point. There's going to be enough residual heat in this cast iron pan to carry over anything else it has to do. Once all the butter's melted and combined, now it's time to season it up with a little bit of salt. Some cracked black pepper. And then this is ready to serve. Now remember, we're going to be using this for, the arancini, so we're going to cool it off until we can handle it and roll it nice and easy. Now, if you were going to make any other flavor risotto, like a mushroom risotto or, any other flavoring, this is where you would add like the pieces in, the mushrooms or, lobster, shrimp, anything you wanted to add. This would be the time to add it. This way it doesn't get overcooked, and, you can add the flavor as you like. So now that you saw how we made the risotto, you want to spread it out in a sheet tray until it's nice and cool so you don't burn yourself or anything while you're forming the balls. So I'm going to take a 1/4 cup scoop. And I'm going to take a scoop myself. And we're going to flatten it out into a disc.
Oh no!
That's all right. We got jumpers. You're going to put a ball of mozzarella, or you can put the ragu, or however you want to stuff it, in the middle. And you're just going to start wrapping the rice around it.
Ragu! That was a little bit overboard.
See how I'm forming it? Good job. Oh,
No, mine's breaking.
that's all right. Don't worry about it. The rice, just squeeze it together. And look at that. A nice glutinous ball of arborio rice.
You did Arancini.
That's right. It's Arancini.
I almost fell. Almost done. Not done.
Look at that. Perfect. Okay, we're going to form the rest of these up. While we're doing that, I'm going to get the oil heated. Now, once these are all formed, I'm going to put them in the fridge for about a ½ an hour to let them cool down so they hold their shape a little bit better. So we'll be back in a minute, and we'll see you then.
Or let's do that again.
All right, so we formed up all of our arancini, put them in the fridge for about a ½ an hour, let them firm up so they hold their shape while we're breading them and everything. Now we're going to run them through a standard breading process: flour, egg wash, breadcrumbs. Arancini, that's right.
Arancini.
I did a mix of regular Italian seasoned breadcrumbs and panko because I like the extra seasoning, but I also like the crunch, so I do a mix of them and it comes out wonderful. Flour has some salt, pepper, and then a little bit of onion and garlic powder in it just to give it a little extra flavor.
And some oil.
No, the oil's over in the pan back here, which we're going to start heating this up. I'm going to get these breaded. I'm going to show you. We're going to bread one.
Now I have to wash my hands again.
You always have to wash your hands when you're cooking.
Do you want to do this? Can I have one?
Hold on, bud. Hold on.
That's what an arancini looks like.
Well, we have to cook it yet.
Arancini.
There you go, breaded. Let me see that bad boy. Good job. No, there's raw egg in it, bud.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. My assistant's going to go and wash his hands. I'm going to get these in the fridge for about 15 minutes to let them cool off. As you can see, they're breaded really nice. There's going to be a nice mix of that Italian breadcrumb and then the panko. But we'll be back in a couple minutes. I'm going to start heating up the oil. We'll fry these things up. All right, well, I got the oil heated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to lower a couple of these balls in there. These are going to fry for 5 minutes at 350 degrees. Make sure you pop them in there gently. You don't want to drop them in and get splashed back and burn yourself. You really don't want to fry any more than 3 or 4 of these at a time, because then it's really going to get crowded and you're going to wind up with oily arancini. So these are going to go for 5 minutes. I'm going to time warp ahead. You can see they're a nice, beautiful brown. And then we're going to start pulling these things out. As you're pulling them out, make sure you let some of the grease drain off. And then you can throw them on a wire rack. And this is when you're going to want to hit them with a little bit of salt when they first come out of the fryer. This way it'll adhere to the arancini. Hey, welcome back. Okay, you just watched me. I fried them at 350 for 5 minutes. Nice golden brown, really nice crispy outside. And now for the money shot. We're going to cut it in half. Oh, listen to that crunch.
Ooh.
Some nice ooey gooey cheese in the middle. Again, you can stuff this with ragu, with ground beef or anything like that. I've even seen shrimp and lobster arancini. There you go, bud. Super creamy, nice crunch on the outside. The cheese and the rice and the seasoning is just fantastic.
It's burning my tongue.
So what'd you think? You're on camera. How about this? Thanks. Really encourage you to try this. You saw how easy it was. These are really absolutely delicious. You could put them in with a marinara sauce or any kind of thing you want. You could just eat them raw. You could pick it up and eat it like an apple if you want. Thanks again for joining us on The Wayward Gourmands. Keep an eye out for new videos. If you like this, hit like and subscribe below. All the directions and ingredients are going to be in the description below. We'll see you next time.
Bye.